Big news in the NRL with Peter V'landys threatening to take the grand final out of Sydney unless the New South Wales government honours their promise to invest more money in suburban grounds. Can you ever see the grand final out of Sydney, Tubby?
Oh, I could, absolutely. And you can see Peter V'landys, and you've got to love Peter V'landys. He does a great job. His job is to obviously try and sell the game of rugby league across Australia, and he does a very good job of that. So he's creating a market here. He's shopping around, looking to see what he can, or what value he can get for the grand final. I think the only problem he will have is that really rugby league, the heartland, is Queensland and New South Wales. So as a New South Welshman, I don't want to see the game leave Sydney. And I think a lot of rugby league players or rugby league supporters wouldn't want to see it leave Sydney or Brisbane. So I think Suncorp's in the gun. But the other stadiums around Australia, if he takes it over there to, say, Perth, Optus or the Adelaide Oval or something like that, you run the risk of losing a lot of supporters down the East Coast, which is where the heartland is.
Yeah, look, I can understand exactly where Peter V'landys is coming from. And my point as well is this is one of the showpiece sporting events in an Australian sporting calendar. And really, whatever government may be, the New South Wales, Queensland, whichever one, they've really got to come to the party, so to speak. They had a deal in terms of domestic grounds, and I've actually been to one in Brookvale about 2 or 3 years ago to watch the Roosters versus Manly, and I was a little bit shocked. It started to rain, and all the people from the hill had come up to the stand. The people that support a sport as big as rugby league deserve better. And in terms of the grand final, if that's what's going to take, the only thing they've got to take into consideration is coming back to what Tubby said. They've got to make sure showpiece event is a packed-out crowd, because there's no problem taking the money and all that. But if these pitches are going all around the world, and if you've got a stadium that's only half full, that's not a good look. That's not good optics, as they call it.
Well, other sports around the world, they have their big dances in different cities. Australia seems to be the only country that sticks to their host city, being in the NRL and, of course, the AFL. If the NRL can make $200 million by shopping this around, Chloe, this can only be great for the growth of the sport and women's sport as well, women's rugby league.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think coming off the back of COVID, great opportunity for these states, if they do get an opportunity to have an event like that, for the economy, for people to be travelling interstate to these games, staying in hotels, going out to the pubs, having beers before the game too.
And we saw Suncorp host an epic grand final last year. The Queenslanders, they love to turn out and have a party. The New South Wales government, they do have hosting rights until the end of 2024 though, and the Sports Minister, Stuart Ayres, he had a bit of a crack at Peter V'landys. Don't know if that was the smartest move, but he said if the NRL Grand Final moves to Queensland, then Peter V'landys should consider going as well. You don't take on V'landys.
Well, I think Peter V'landys straight away, he would love that. The fact he's been taken on, because once again, he's driving the market up. Yeah. It's all part of the discussion, the noise around this grand final, which I don't know exactly what Peter V'landys is thinking, but he might think, oh, I want to keep it here in Sydney, but I want New South Wales government to pay absolute top dollar for this game, because it is a major event. So once again, a big tick for V'landys. He's doing his job.
Yeah, Master Negotiator Queensland, they are offering up $10 million per year. So do watch this space. A lot to play out in that one.